a great way to build content for your web presence in so many ways. So it's like the hot thing right now. How many of you are on Pinterest already? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have the request for an invitation.
Okay, okay. So what is it? This is the Pinterest definition. We're going to talk a little more about what it is, but it's a social network that allows you to visually share, curate, which means to organize into themes and topics, and discover new interests by posting or pinning images or videos onto pin boards. They really make it clear when you sign up, do not push a product or service. This is not for sales. This is a place where you show the lifestyle associated with your product, which is really what makes it such a great fit with, did you start the camera? Thank you. For social media. And the things that make it really attractive to people are that it's very visual and it focuses on lifestyle. So that's a tool that you can use in showcasing your product or service, is what lifestyle goes with your product or service. So what they also say from Pinterest is it's a social network meant to connect everyone in the world through the things that they find interesting, not through sales. Some of the vocabulary: a pin is an image added to a pin board. The pin board is a collection of pins based on themes or topics. So you can have as many of these as you want, but just base it on a particular theme. For example, for my Amazing Teas, what I'm thinking about doing, I've started the Smart Group AZ one, not Amazing Teas, but I'll have an endangered animal theme for one, and I'll have a yoga theme maybe for another, or just sportswear. So giving people ideas when they see it of the different ways that they can use my product. Pinning is visually sharing the content. To repin is a repost, and that's of course what, when you get on there, you want everybody to start doing so that you can spread the word. The pin it button is real important, and you can download it off the website. I'll show you that in a minute, but it includes link backs to your website. So that's a real important thing to add after you open your account. And then the pinner is the person using Pinterest. So just if you have questions, just go ahead and interrupt me, but it should you be on Pinterest? So maybe just to have fun personally, or should your business be on Pinterest? So right now, this actually has only been around for, what, about a year, would you say, Sheree? They've got statistics going back a year.
It's a little over a year.
A little over a year? Okay. 80% are women, but I think that's going to change.
Yeah.
Just my guess. 55% are ages 25 to 44, so relatively young. The really interesting thing is the time on the site is 17 minutes. Now, part of that might be because you're actually physically building things and pinning, but that's a really long time to have somebody involved on a social media site. Nothing like Facebook, but still, it's pretty good. I wanted to point out this Google.com /ad planner. Has anybody been on that? Because you can go, I'm going to just, it's something you might want to take note of. I'll show it to you. You can actually go on to this. It's, of course, a Google tool. And I put in Pinterest.com, and I can see all the statistics of the market. It's really, really interesting to see. So if I don't know how well you can see it, but if you go through it, the first thing you see is, 140 million visits. Worldwide, 150 million. Average visits per cookie, 2.2 here. Time on site is 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Unique visitors, you can see, I have another graph that I'll show you. Male, 18%, female, 82%. And here's the ages. So if you really have your target market nailed down to all these specifics, you can see how good of a fit it is for you right now. This is going to change fast because I think more and more men are going to be jumping on it because of the business benefits for it.
And they said that, what was it, last April there were supposed to be 350,000 users, and now there's already 11 million users.
Yeah.
And it's going to be breaking into the ranks of the top 4 or 5 top social media sites.
I believe it, yeah. There was one more thing at the bottom that I was going to show you. oh, I know what it was, right here, audience interest. I thought this was really interesting. They ask you what your interests are when you first sign up, and the percent, this isn't a percentage, but there's the cohort, the biggest cohort is fashion designers and collections, and then right underneath it is fashion and style. So right there for jewelry, beading, arts and crafts, 2.8. So you can see that it's all very visual and feminine right now. I think that will change, as I said before.
Dale, what is
Yeah.
the purpose of ad planner? What is it, you go to a,
Because if you're planning your Google ads and you want to know what sites to place them on, or just if you want to know what place to put your ads on, even if it's not a Google ad, you can see who's visiting that site,
I see.
so that you can then know where to spend your money. And
Looks like a
so you're targeting.
demographic of different
Yeah, it's-
sites?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, okay.
Are you gonna show us Pinterest?
Yeah. No. Okay. Back here. Another graph that shows, this is from February of last year till now, and how it's just grown like crazy. And that's what everybody's talking about.
Why has it really taken off in the past, like 2 months probably? Like, is there,
I think it's that multiplier effect. So each new person then sends out to 5 more people,
Yeah.
and you know, and they like it.
Maybe they're allowing new visitors, maybe they were beta testing, and then they opened it, and everybody was so excited about it, and so they sent a whole bunch of, or fulfilled a whole bunch
Yeah.
of requests.
But it's still in beta,
yeah,
still in beta right now. So if you want to sign up, this is, you go to Pinterest.com, and the first thing you'll see is request for an invite, or you log in if you already have an account. The faster thing to do, but be careful about doing, is to ask somebody who's already on Pinterest. Because I asked yesterday morning, and I still haven't gotten an invitation. You asked yesterday morning, and you were put on the waiting list. So they're trying to slow it down a little bit, I guess.
sounds like what Google did with the Google Plus, I'm trying to
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
control
And
it.
that also builds a mystique.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, you know, I'm still waiting for my invitation.
Yeah, they probably just don't want the service to crash.
So you're planning to
But-
send us all invitations, is that what you said?
No, also, it's probably would be better to get on the waiting list and just wait, because there's also, they also limit how many invitations you can send. And I didn't find that out until I put it on Facebook, and like 5 people sent me invitations within the first 10 minutes, and so they wasted an invitation on me. Sorry, guys.
Now, do you know if you are a well-known company? I'm talking about like a Reuters International, for instance. Would they probably let you go and sign up right away because they know you're going to probably get a bunch of
I
people?
have no idea.
Or would they
I
treat
doubt
you the
it.
same as somebody like you or me?
I honestly haven't noticed any big companies.
There are some big
on.
companies
They
on
are,
there.
yeah.
There are. I read a bunch of case studies already of big companies using it
Yeah.
really well. So anyway, I'm going to have to speed
It's
up a
not being
little
my
bit
interests.
because Sharif's on next. But when you sign up, I did a bunch of research on this, but the advice is to use the same email address that you use for your Twitter account if you're signing up for business. And that's because it's not connected to the Facebook business page. It's connected to the Facebook profile. So if you want to make sure of that, once you get on, you can also connect to Facebook and you can also share, but it makes it a lot easier when you share to have it hooked up to your Twitter account. That was just kind of the general suggestion. This shows my screenshot of the next thing you do. Well, the next thing that happens is that they ask you what your interests are, which is what I mentioned before, and then they actually give you a whole bunch of followers right away, which I thought was kind of irritating. But I think the reason they do it is so that it kind of fills up your screen and provides a lot of visual
And then
impact right away.
And then you as the user are also automatically following people that you didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I immediately got new followers, but they weren't people I cared about, so I don't think
I got followers who were my Facebook followers.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you signed up with your Facebook account, right? Did you?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, yours might be your Twitter account.
I signed up with my Twitter. Yeah.
So yours might be people from your Twitter.
It might be.
Because I didn't get anybody I didn't know when I signed up for
Okay.
Pinterest.
So you have to you just, it's very easy to use. You just give your board a name. I decided my first one was going to be strategizing with Smart Group, and I'm filling it with pictures of all the Smart Group people. So you'll probably see yourselves on there when I finish doing it. And then I put category education. There wasn't a business category, so. And then who can pin, I just put myself for now, because I didn't quite understand what the point of that was. Optimize your profile by, make sure if you're using for business to put your company name as your username, as your logo, and then include a brief description of your business. I just use the same one I had on Twitter, because I've worked a lot on that description. They let you add links, so you can add all your website links on the bottom. And then make sure, if you noticed when you signed up, did you notice that there was a little place where you could hide from Google search? You don't want to do that.
You can't.
You want to make sure it's clicked off.
Okay.
I can see somebody who's doing it for personal reasons, not wanting the public to see what they put, so that's the reason for that. And then you start building your following. There's two types of followers. You can have somebody that just follows each board, and then they get a notification when you put something on that board, or somebody that follows everything you do. So as a business person, you're probably going to want the second one. And then you start creating a great board, and make sure it's based on a specific topic or theme. Go ahead and use other people's pins to kind of build it out and bring more attention to it. Start following other users, just like in Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and hope they follow you back. Make sure you put that button on your website. So I'll show you where it is. And of course, I'm asking Sharif to do mine, so just so you know, Sharif. But on the About, you go to your profile, you go to the About, and it says Pin It button. So that little drop-down menu, you can go to that. And then you see it here. And you've got these different artwork that you can choose from. And then here is the code that you can copy and paste. And so what I did is I copied and pasted an email and sent it to Sharif. And he's probably, you didn't get it?
No.
Okay, so I'll check. Maybe I saved it as draft because I was going to add something else too. Okay. And another pennant that you can do. I got to speed up a little bit. So your goals with Pinterest is brand recognition. You want to increase traffic to your website, and you want to convert into leads or sales. And thinking back to what Aaron said last week, where he talked about how you could track your social media leads, you can do the same thing that he went through. And by the way, that's posted on YouTube now if you forgot his methodology. But also, if you just go to your Google Analytics, you'll see, if you look where traffic sources is, you'll see Pinterest as a source of traffic, so you can evaluate how it's working for you. And the thing about building a great pin board is, as long as you convey your brand and talk about the lifestyle of your buyers, which is why I asked the questions, what is one thing that all your buyers have in common? So I said, all my members here have in common that they want to improve their business skills. So I'm definitely going to have a board with ideas and based around that theme. So I can send this to you, but it's all visual, of course. Think your brand, think your lifestyle, think how your brand is used, and get photographs of that. Show photographs of your business culture and your business personality. It's a good source of photos are the photos that you put on your blog, and then even data, charts and infographics from your industry would be good. The book covers like Aaron Eden's and Chris Porter's book that they're writing. They've got a great graphic for the book cover. That would be great on one of these pin boards. And get your customers to or get photos of your customers, or ask them for photos of them using your products. Or, like what would you do, Deborah? You would have, you'd have the customers out there supervising the work done. Or
Right now we do pictures of the sites that we're at, so I could include the client while they're out there too.
Yeah. There's just a ton of ideas. You already got a ton of pictures that you can build with this. So,
And I'll put this in the blog post for this week too.
good.
So do
Copy
people
paste
use
that.
this personal and business? I mean,
They can, yeah.
I mean,
I'm just going to use mine for business, but
I mean, it came out of the Midwest. Women in the Midwest were using it with things like recipes and,
Mhm.
and patterns and stuff like that. So that's where it started sort of getting the momentum, but it's moving beyond that now, so.
Well, if you look at the board, the governing board for it, it's, some real biggies are on there.
Right, I mean,
You
I
know,
don't
like
think it's,
Mashable and,
I think they
and
were
so
surprised
they've-
that it was the women in the Midwest that were the ones that.
well, and an example of a personal way to use it, I was checking out Aaron Eden's, and he had his bucket list for places in the world he wants to go. And so I'm looking at all the places he wants to go, thinking, oh, I hadn't thought of that place, or, you know, I just thought that it just gave a whole other dimension to Aaron that didn't know about, so it was kind of a fun thing to do. The good thing too is that you can maximize your SEO with this, because when you pin something up, you probably already saw, I can't remember if I have a picture for this or not. Oh, I don't. They ask you, you can add in a hashtag, but also you can put in links on your descriptions. So that link is also another way to track back to make sure that your analytics, that it's working. The biggest thing of all is that this is going to be a great way to build content. We've talked a lot about content building and how important it is for your Facebook page and your LinkedIn and your blog and all that. But if you can imagine that you're collecting pictures and graphics and images that are very visual and have information connected with them and start collecting them on your pin board, you can then start transferring that to Facebook. And it's just a whole other way to build your content. So happy pinning. So now now it's your turn.